The book of Genesis talks about how when Noah got off the ark, he went to his tent and got drunk. He had been on the ark 40 days while it rained, plus an additional 150 days while the water receded. Somebody said, if you had been cramped up with all of your relatives for 190 days, you'd get drunk too. Noah was lying on the ground outside his tent, totally naked, passed out from being drunk. His youngest son, Ham, went to the tent, saw his father with no clothes. Instead of covering him, instead of keeping it to himself, he went out and started telling people. I can imagine him saying to his brothers, you'll never believe what I saw. Dad's making a fool of himself. He's drunk. He's naked. He could have downplayed it, but he tried to get others stirred up. His two brothers didn't take the bait. Their attitude was, we're not going to be drawn into discord, to gossiping, to making people look bad. Even though it was true, they didn't get on board with bringing division, spreading the negative. They went to Noah's tent. When they saw their father lying there with no clothes on, they turned around and walked in backwards. They refused to look at him. They got a blanket and covered him up. What if we had that kind of attitude? When we hear something juicy, it's true, we have every right to say it, but instead of exposing it, we cover it up. We don't tell anyone. We don't go around announcing what we saw. When you cover a person's faults, you're on God's side. When you expose their faults, use what you know to discredit them, you're on the wrong side. God said, touch not my anointed. Noah was drunk, but he was still anointed. People can make mistakes, have weaknesses, but they're still anointed. I'm not going to touch God's anointed. Well, Joel, they're off course. They're not honoring God. Maybe not, but they're still made in the image of God. When you come against them, you're coming against the God who created them. When Noah woke up and found out what happened, how his youngest son exposed him, his two other sons covered him, he said to Ham, the youngest, your children and grandchildren will always struggle. There will be hardships on your descendants because you dishonored me. He said to the other two sons, because you covered me, because you didn't spread the negative, your descendants will always be blessed. They will rule over cities. Their land will increase. They will always have favor. God does not take it lightly when people stir up trouble. If you're tempted to gossip, talk about somebody, keep the negative going, don't fall into that trap. If you'll cover it, like these two sons, you and your family will see blessings and favor.